I thought she did good. I think that the whole purpose of the speech was very well obvious. I think that the evidence, she's looked at evidence and things politicians and I just think she's a more on the side.
All right. I like the metaphor in the introduction. I thought that worked pretty well. You've got a very clear statement of what your persuasive subject is. The content is set up very basically and very clear. You signpost on the first point. It was a little ham-fisted because it was sort of obvious. Later on, I didn't think that it was quite as well organized as it needed to be, so maybe you needed that ham-fisted sort of approach there. I liked a lot of the approach that you took, the idea of let's discuss where responsibility really lies here. Blaming McDonald's and other fast food companies is problematic. You do focus in on the one incident that I think we used as an example in here about the San Francisco ban on Happy Meals, or their attempt to regulate the Happy Meals in a particular way. And I thought you used that as a pretty good wedge to get into the issue. I think there are probably a few other things that might be pointed out about how people are often quick to blame fast food. You got a little, I think, sidetracked on that $160 billion estimate. I think there's maybe a legitimate criticism about how stuff gets lumped together and how these cost estimates are not broken down very effectively, but you spent more time trying to debunk that than it was probably worth. You're not getting that much steam out of that approach. I think you were better off focusing, for instance, on some of the other claims about the fast food industry. I did like, for example, your attempt to show that these are responsible companies, that they have had appropriate business practices, that the finger pointing here is really, I think you needed to make that one extra step. It's really an attempt to avoid responsibility, and the people who are trying to avoid the responsibility are the people who are having the problems themselves, like the guy that you mentioned at the end, Sue and Carl's Jr. You made me fat because I ate Angus beef burgers. What the? Yeah, Angus. That makes it healthy because he's got a Scottish name that nobody has here in this country. There's a good healthy food, Angus. All right. I don't know, sometimes the stuff that people say. On the presentation issues, you've got good pacing most of the time, but it's not always consistent. Not a big problem, but maybe you want to be a little bit more consistent. Your eye contact was really solid. There were some good indicators, but you had nervous feet. I mean, your feet were coming up off the ground every once in a while. It's like you're pulling a foot back behind your knee every 40 seconds or so. It's like, I'm a little nervous, like a kid standing in front of the classroom, reciting something later on. So you don't want to look nervous. Otherwise, if we're just watching, the top part, not so bad. You're in pretty good shape there. Okay, thank you.